every now and then I do like to talk about more trivial things. Stuff that's not world changing. And the reason I do this is because it's interesting. It's like getting a sample from within the culture. You get to see how the wind is blowing, how things are changing, how people are reacting to stuff versus how they used to react 2 years ago. And today we're going to be talking about this particular account. It's a very small fringe account which all of a sudden managed to make a post that went absolutely viral. Now, certain people were accusing them of buying likes, but I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, maybe if they did in the beginning in order to get it to snowball, I can't say, but what I do know is that it did anger a lot of people. So, the account basically says you shouldn't be a fascist, right? So why is it that it outraged so many gamers? Why are gamers upset about this, and why is it like a huge controversy? Well, gamers are tired of being treated like children, okay? Like, we would appreciate it if leftist ideologues would stop projecting. Like, we already know that leftist ideologues cannot differentiate fact from fiction. Like, it is known Khaleesi. You know, most people, I think it's like the milestone is at the age of 2. When you're able to discern fiction from reality. Like most people are reaching that milestone, but then you have like the leftist academic which tries to indoctrinate people in order to forget how to differentiate fact from fiction. So basically, right, when you're playing a video game and you're telling people don't be a fascist, you're infantilizing the person. You're basically treating them like a moron. Like they wouldn't know unless you tell them to. And it's also like fart sniffing. It's like, well, I'm aware that you shouldn't be a fascist. Are you? Right? So it's kind of like, you know, going to a person and asking them, hey, did you know that 2 + 2 = 4? Like, they would look at you with disdain, right? Because you just insulted them. Like you basically called them a moron. By insinuating that they do not know simple mathematics, you're basically trying to say that you're smarter than them, right? And they feel condescended. That's why people are upset. Now, of course, there are leftists that are like, oh, why are you upset? It's just like saying, don't be a fascist. Really, leftists, you're the people that get freaked out when someone says Merry Christmas. Like, you get freaked out from all the trivial shit, and you're greedy, right? Like, you want to hoard. You want to hoard that offense culture. It's like, only leftists should be offended by trivial shit. Heaven forbid anyone else does the same. Especially when this is not so trivial. Like it's not the message that they're putting out, which is offending people. It's the condescending nature of it, right? Like when someone tells you Merry Christmas, they're not trying to be condescending. When you reply with Happy Holiday, that's when you try to be condescending, right? So that's like one of the observations, because again, like as you can see, this has like 203,000 quotes. It's got a lot of likes. The scandal is ongoing. And this is like the 2 camps of people. Like the first camp, which is like eye-rolling, cringing, blocking this account. And then the other camp, it's like, oh, well, if you get upset, then it needs to be said. All right, fine. You know what? Let's talk about fascismus a little bit. First of all, most of these individuals, most leftists, would not be able to write a thesis on fascism for the life of them. Like, they know it's evil. But like, if you ask them, okay, so what does fascism say about the government? What does it say about the economy? What is its views on race? You know, like who are the influential fascists in Italy? Like they would not be able to articulate any of this because their knowledge and understanding is simply limited to World War II movies, what a Democrat politician has said. Like, they're not actually studying it so that they see, oh shit, like the European Union is really close to fascism as an ideology. The World Economic Forum is pushing fascism by the definition. They're not doing any of that, right? They don't know. They just know fascism bad. Therefore, if we see fascism, that's like Starship Troopers, right? Because they have a military. That's Starship Troopers. That's fascism, right? That's their understanding. Secondly, what do the fascists do? Like, are they going to do worse than it has already been done to me in 2020? Like, are they going to lock me in my house? Are they going to force me to show papers to the waiter at McDonald's? Are they going to shut down my business to keep everyone safe? Are they going to ask me for documents if they catch me on the street taking the garbage? Are they going to forbid me from seeing my family? Are they going to put fences in stores where the good people go versus the bad people, because they did that during the pandemic, right? And that was the left, by the way. Must I remind you? All right. So I find it even more condescending to be lectured about fascism from the people supporting it. Like, I remember some of the interesting takes on Twitter coming from the left during the pandemic, and they would say, oh, well, the military should pin people down and force the Pfizer communion upon them, right? And the worship of Dr. Fauci, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, all of the fascist things, right? With worship of the leader, with everything within the state, nothing outside the state. It was everything within the science, nothing outside the science. Like all that shit was promoted by the left, who is super mega duper concerned about fascismus in a video game. But when it's reality, right? When it's literally happening, they're not concerned at all. In fact, they're encouraging it. So this is why it's even more condescending. Yeah, like the same individuals that one day their empathy was hurting their fellow citizens. It's like, oh, if only we can save one life. We need to shut down all the businesses so you can starve to death. Property is not as important as human lives. Go poor, go on the streets, right? And then literally the next day, to war, Ukraine, to war. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, like, what the fuck? Like, these are the people that are now giving us morality and lecturing us about, hey, if you play a video game, make sure you know that it's make-believe. It's absolutely abhorrent. These people are like, fascism is when there's borders. Like, literally that's the level. Fascism is when there's free speech. That's their understanding. So it's no surprise that so many gamers got upset. And leftists, they jump on the bandwagon because it's like, oh, if you get upset, you are promoting fascism. It's literally the same mentality. Like, I grew up in a very evangelical school, and they were incredibly homophobic, like, unironically so. Even though they never met a gay person in their entire life, like, they didn't, and if they would meet a gay person, like, they wouldn't even know what to do with them. It's like, but like, they were very convinced that, like, homophobia good, whatever. And they would always say,